that'll happen. Yeah, the kids will leave the toys laying around on the floor there, but I mean, it's once you've had a house full of girls and two men come up too, and once you've had two men in a house full of girls, and then wife, number one, number two, number three, and then your side hose. No, I'm just teasing. I'm talking like I'm talking the lingo that I hear from my grandson. He listens to gangster rap, and I told him that it's not the kind of music that he should be listening to. I told him he should check out New Riders of the Purple Sage or Hank Williams. But he didn't know what I was talking about, didn't seem that interested, to be honest. But yeah, he likes that rap music, which is kind of not for the white kids, it's more for the black kids, and I think the black kids like it better that way, even though I know that TV talking heads will say otherwise, that we're doing them this great favor by embracing their culture. You see one go off and get dreadlocks, and then that's a problem because they don't like that either. So, I mean, and I'm pretty sure the Vikings had dreadlocks anyway. Not that I like dreadlocks. I think that no kid should have them. I think that they say a lot about a personality. Usually there's kids smoking dope, and then they decide they want to get a crazy hairdo, or you're going to have actual mold that the folks over at Howard's Mold Service can supply you with a great batch of anti-agents and antibacterial fungi sanitizer. That's a big 1 gallon bucket. They come in 2 gallons and up to 7 gallon buckets of mold killer. Anyway, you can find that on our page, Howard Mold Co. Anyway, though, yeah, I mean, I don't know why they take a hit off of a joint or a doobie, as you'll hear them say, and then suddenly it becomes a roach, which kind of says a lot, implementing that it's already, and it also brings us back to termination for insecticides, where, you know, you got the roaches and we got the moldy locks. I mean, what more can a guy want once they're hitting that pot? I understand that it comes pretty natural to the colored folk, or yeah, I'm trying to stay kind of politically correct here, but so I'm trying not to use, or I don't want to use that word anymore, that but it kind of slips out on occasion. There's just out at the lake there, you don't see too many of them around, but I mean, that's because we're out in Bumduck, Minnesota. They probably see it as a bummer, but I'm not going to talk about this topic anymore, at least in that relation, because one group pulls it off rather well, so I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. But anyway, so they got this hairdo going on, and it's just a breeding ground for roaches and mold and decomposers and decomposites and insects and critters that will, we're actively setting up mouse traps and mouse bait and roach bait, and we're keeping those pricks over at the Bureau Extermination Care. We're keeping them in business. My buddy Howard, though, does his own outfit with that particular service. So if you got roaches, that's one thing, but if you got some pot stinking kids, they smell like skunks. You know that? Ever notice that? They smell so much like a skunk that when you're driving down the I-5 in the middle of the night, you see a little rooster go across the road. It's actually a skunk, and it's got blacks and white stripes on it, and that's how you'll know. But you won't catch me near one of them things. No, I'm not going near there. I don't want to have to bathe in some tomato juice. I mean, my wife already put so much damn ketchup in all of our food that we eat. I mean, might as well just give me some of that. Give me a plate of spaghetti, and I can just rub it on myself. Or, not that anyone's gonna wanna eat at the table when you got a guy smelling like skunk, so that doesn't help the case. What's more over anyway, so when you weigh out the pros and cons just for a little bit of a high time or groovy man or whatever it is that they like about this stuff, does it really pan out to be worth it when you're teetering on the totter and on the brink? Does it seem feasible action? It's uncanny. Undevelopment slowing down the maturity of the brain. I read that in a study, actually. Now they're going and making it legal for everyone, which I'm actually okay with that, but I don't want my grandsons on the stuff, because before you know it, they're blasting 50 cent or 25 piece or whatever it is, or quarter, 50 cent piece. I think that's what it is. By the way, it's cents plural once you got more than one in there, but I think you probably know that. It's probably some street lingo ebonics kind of thing there. Oh man. Okay, so Kevin's out of the studio today. This is a brief broadcast by the Bait 100 tackle bait fishing show on your local AM station. It is 3 a.m. AM Central Time. Yep, I'm up early this morning. Hit the coffee. Didn't hit snooze. Us old guys have to do that sometimes, but ever since I was a kid, waking up on the farm and milking cows, I haven't had that problem too much. I just kind of wake up and I'm wide-eyed, but start smoking that dope, then you're gonna have yourself a problem there. But I can see if you were sitting around all day just waiting for something to come your way. That's not helping in the case of fishing much, but these are hard-working men trying to catch some food. Anyway, though, everyone has their own preferences, so I don't condemn you for the action. Just don't give it to my grandkids. I mean, that's all I ask. I mean, the 30-year-old, I mean, he can do whatever the hell he wants. He doesn't even do that. He's got more of a friend with the jack, which that's not too much better if you ask me. It's kind of hypocritical. And to avoid sounding too much like Kevin, I don't want to say that, but yeah, the booze isn't that good for you either. Of course, I drink a 6-pack quite often, but I mean, I've always been pretty fine in my eyes. I've always felt that way. I mean, anyhow, so I just, I'm gonna take a quick cigarette break, because I'm trying to kind of vent out the studio here. Because we rent this out, it's a public domain at our main studio. It's not in the Kev's garage, it's not in my workshop, so I gotta step outside anyway, so I'm not really, I guess, clearing anything out much. So, but anyhow, I'll be back soon after a message from our sponsor over at Smith Lumber Co. USA. You are now entering a commercial break.
You got lifted up into the wings of a car. How about that? We got ribbons here, and we got some power chairs that need new homes. We need power chairs that need new occupants. We need power chairs. The people of the world need more power chairs, and we're here to supply the demand. In this society here, you'll see a obese person, and I could also say a beautiful person, because obesity is beautiful. And over here, we're working around the clock just to design you the most comfortable chair in the world so you can ride it on over to get some more Cheetos. We got 8 brand new Mark 3000s coming in. We take insurance from Blue Cross. We also take insurance from other companies. Unfortunately, for those of you participating on Medicare, Obamacare, we were covering those along with the plastic surgeries and the penis removals and the hormone treatments, along with these power chairs on Obamacare. But that has been exterminated by the folks over at Howard's. Anyway, come down, even if you don't think you're ready, even if you think you got some life left in you and you can still jog around the block. It can never be too soon for a power chair, can it? And you're not going to tell me no when you sit down in these comfortable chairs. That's for certain. Okay. So come see us about power chairs. And the power will be all yours. This is Boss Power Chairs at 341-732-9099. There you go. You're only a few baby steps away from never having to walk again. Talk about fun. Relaxation in the sun. Alright, call our folks about power chairs. While you're at it, we'll give you a little life alert button too. Something kind of like an Auschwitz that says, "Hey, I'm dying here." You got tags that'll say a diabetic, no, and what you're allergic to, and the power chair is now state of the art, computer programmed to know as your buns get cushioned right in that comfy chair. You'll know how much you've had to eat that day, the weight you're putting on, and your goal to be beautiful. Okay, so ultimatum here is come get a power chair. Even if you got a 7-year-old who's sick of walking around the grocery store, get him a chair. We got chairs for the whole family here. Whew. I'm gonna go out for a drive right now in my brand new power chair, where I've got the power.
Not the Minnesota Vikings, of course. There's plenty of black folk with the Vikings too in Minnesota. And as far as the roach bait goes, I mean, the mouse traps we just sit around the damn kid's head. I mean, what the hell do you want? This is Virgil from the 800s, and I'm talking about mouse bait and roach bait, and not the tackle bait that we so often will script or encrypt into our dialogue here at the show. Kevin's on the outskirts of a town now. I believe that there was a short circuit in someone's house, a little old lady, and he had to go see to it and help them out. Okay, you're listening to the Beat 100 on your local AM station. We've had this station for quite a long time. I've been in this business in and out, dipping my head in the door, seeing what's going on for a while, and I'm usually out of the station by 6 a.m. And our recordings will sometimes go on repeat through the day after a couple hour show. Then I go back to the barn and I yell at the kids to get milking the cows. And we don't have any cows on the farm anymore, though. It's pretty much only crops now. We got bees, as you know. I'm a beekeeper, and that's kind of that's been my main line for many of these years. Along with the crops, we got some soybeans. So just making a few corrections to that last interference of mine, or I should say making an interception catch. Alright, so what do we got in the line today? We got Scooper from Sceneville, and we got blueprints for a house that we're gonna explain to you over the air. I don't know if how that's gonna pan out, but we'll talk about how to build A-frames and structures, and then we'll have gardening with Bob. He'll teach you how to garden some stuff for the year, maybe even just simple stuff like planting wildflowers. Anyway, you're listening to the Beat 100 on your local AM stations. We cover fishing reports for a number of counties that I'm not going to read them off today because it's such a bitch to do so. I'm sorry for the language there. That was my mistake. It slips out sometimes like a bullet. What can you do? The bullet from a gun. We got Rod coming we had to kick him off for a while because he wasn't so keen on gun safety. I mean, he wouldn't even flip the safety switch if we were out at the range, and I'd bring my kids out there, and you know about the incident that happened back when. I tried to leave him out of the story because I don't want to incriminate him or anything like that, or have anyone get the wrong idea of it now, but I spilled the beans. So now you got the beans spilled on you, and about Rod. But I guess that's what happens when you have a talk show. You tend to do a lot of talking, and you might talk a bit too much. And when you get sidetracked from the tackle bait, that can be a problem. But don't let me make you think otherwise about Rod. He wasn't there at the time, and I should stop bringing up that story. But I mean, it was kind of a big deal at the time. Of course, Kevin falls through the ice and stuff. I mean, it's quite a shit show, I would say, over here at the Bait 100 and Tackle Bait fishing show, where we cover fishing reports, and we'll talk about some family things, and of course, it's a family-friendly show. On our station programming, and we have some bloopers for the show. Kevin stubs his toe coming in the door. I swear that fella hurts himself every time he sits down. Of course, I do the same thing when I'm standing up, but it's a wicked life. What can you say? Anyway, I'm kind of rambling and not going anywhere in one direction too much or too swell, so I'm going to hit a commercial break and hit my coffee and get back to it when I'm back. So here you go. You're listening to the Bait 100 once again. In case you've forgotten, on your local AM radio, we air from 4 a.m. to 6 most days of the week. Saturdays we do live broadcasts from a segment called Kevin's Garage, where we talk about different tool brands. And then, of course, we give out the secret tackle bait if you email us at reportmycatch@gmail.com. Our website is currently down. So there you go. Ride our power chairs into the sunset together. Yeah, you know that would be grand. You could see it here in my eyes. I'm just glistening with light, reclining in my power chair. You go to a house party, there's no more chairs available. Well, you got your own, and those folks will be jealous because you got the most comfortable chair in the house. So, you're set to go with the power chair. You can make a payment once you sign the dotted line when you come over here, or we'll come to you. We got professionals who work around the clock in power chairs because there's a stigma that you can't work. Well, hell, you can work on power chairs just like you can work when you're sitting in your own office chair. Think of all the work those white collar folk do. I know on the show that this is broadcast on, they ain't so keen on this advertisement, but I can tell you that it's because I'm from a southern state, but I can tell you those folks, Virgil, Kevin, they're jealous because they want a power chair themselves. And that Virgil's gonna need one soon. And, yeah. It sucks to be them because there's a whole world rolling around when they're walking. They want to step on you. This hierarchy of people who can walk. You step on and push around the people in wheelchairs. Well, the power is yours now, and you control yourself in your own chair.
No one gonna tell you where you got to go. That be on us. We got remote power chairs where we can send you around. They got tracking devices and GPS. Know exactly where you go and even get habits and send you there. So say you go to the grocery store, Sam's Club every day. Well, hell, sorry if something's come up, but a power chair's going right there, and you don't gotta do nothing. You could be napping still. The only problem is there's a deactivate button on the back, and say if you gotta get to a funeral or let's not hope it's your own. So you gotta get to a funeral there, and the power chair will send you right there. In fact, one of the already presets is the local funeral home that's sent. It'll know how to get you right there. So you just gotta get in the chair and let the chair do the rest. You gotta charge it up, of course, but that'll probably, that's no biggie. That costs about as much as it costs to heat a apartment complex in the wintertime in Fargo, North Dakota. You see, I'm getting that speech back. I've been hopping down the Union on the Mason-Dixon line, going back and forth my whole life because my parents were divorced when I was just a wee little boy. Boy, I had to bike around all over the place if I would have killed for a power chair. This whole stigma on power chairs for the old and weak is going to die, and we here at my company are going to make that happen. We think everyone belongs in a power chair. It's a right. It's a privilege, too. Ow. Come on down and get yourself a brand new ride.
And it's not even spring yet. I mean, hell, how does that happen? Oh boy, we got some things here. New reports fresh from the crappie's mouth. We see that there's a storm on its way. The clouds are looking like they're cloudy. It's certainly so, but that's a matter of fact in a sense that is current as of now. I don't know where you are on Friday. That's today. I don't know if you know, but we got a big fishing show for you tomorrow. That should be a good one. And I stepped on a damn Lego today. It hurt my foot there. And I'm not as blessed as Kev to have flat feet and just skip out on the war, but whatever, that's fine. Have you ever segment coming up timely here? We're always talking about what's coming up next. There's always something new to tell you. I was building a fence yesterday, of course, to keep the illegals out of there, and there's this guy who at the warehouse where we dispense the honey into jars that he just leaves his junk laying right out on the lawn. I mean, what the hell? So we had the folks from Survey Your Property come over and check it out, and lo and behold, I was right that there was more property to it than met the eye. So soon we have a letter coming over to him that's gonna show him the guidelines. Hopefully it'll get those junk off the property line. I just had a case of the hiccups there. Whew. Alright, there's some folks putting in some flags over there. I'm outside if you didn't catch that, but see some folks, they look like they're some construction workers, they stand around and soak up, just throw out your money in a puddle on the floor and they'll just step on it and soak it up with their feet. Get paid $50 an hour just to stand around, and they hold up traffic. It's quite an angry knee slapper. Not funny, but at all, the least bit. That when you're out there driving on the avenue there in town, because my grandkids live in town, and you're getting waved down. They're telling you slow down. Oh, how slow do you want me to go? Look at how fast I'm really actually going. There ain't much action happening here. You don't have to wave your hand down, roll my window down, and ask how slow do you want me to go as I'm just cruising out, cruising out in the avenue there. How my car just pulls itself along. I have my foot not even on the gas, and they just come on now. This is bullshit, and I can call that when I see it. Just like you think you're calling me on my bullshit. I tell you what, man, this is how it goes up here in this town, in this area. You don't have construction workers that are going to tell you what to do. I always said there's only 2 seasons around here, maybe 3. And I wouldn't say you're so lucky to have 3, because you got one winter, which is so cold that it hurts your wife's toes, and you gotta give her your damn coat all the time and give us all this guff. And you got the construction season in the middle there. Excuse me, it's not construction season that's in the middle. It's actually, what I'll find, you got winter and flooding season, then you got construction season, so flooding season's in the middle. Whew. Alright, so here we go. Hi. We got a caller. Frank from Frankfurt, Illinois? What? We're mainly in the North Dakota and Minnesota area, some of South Dakota and a little bit of Montana and some of the Wisconsin, quite a bit actually. But so this is probably a prank call. Maybe they got our number somehow and they're passing through, and so anyway, we're gonna pick it up and we're gonna see what it's all about.
Yeah, Virgil, I want to say you're a phony. Virgil, you're a complete fraud. Beep.
You're listening to the Bait 100 on your local AM station, Tackle Bait Fishing Show. We cover fishing reports for a number of counties. I'm not but authorized, but not obligated to read off to you, which I have in the past and will again in the future. So I think you're pretty aware wherever you are that if you can hear this, you hear it. If you can't, then I guess you're SOL. Shit out of luck. Sorry about that. No worms in your bucket. You're all out. Gonna have to get crafty there and make some fake shinies. But so here we go. That was a prank call on the line. Someone trying to mess with me, throw me off. I'm here doing a good deed, trying to keep the folks driving on the road safe with some family-friendly info about fishing. And we got some people trolling, for those out trolling in the water. Tackle Bait Fishing Show.